Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Speedrun Insider. I'm your host, CJitsallGewd. I'm joined this week by my friend, my creative partner, the Beard of Knowledge in the Pokemon Snap Tree, the Command & Conquer Red Alert 0 Hour Generals guy. I know I got that wrong, but there's a lot of titles in that one. He's a man of many titles and a man of many talents. He's my friend. I'm happy to introduce you to the man you already know, the voice of Speed Docs, CCNeverender.
Howdy.
How you doing, dude?
I'm all right. I'm big chilling tonight.
Not to peel the curtain back too fast too soon, but we do talk a lot.
We talk essentially every day.
Not every day, but essentially every day.
Yes.
Why don't you give the people a real intro about yourself?
Sure. My name is CCNeverender. Most people call me CC. I'm a Pokemon Snap speedrunner, and I play a plethora of other games, but mostly just Snap. Yeah, I love streaming, and I love having a community of friends, and yeah.
You nailed it.
Thank you. That's me on a personal level. I guess more a professional level. I also I'm half of the channel Speed Docs, which I think, yes.
Yeah, there you go. So I was trying to get you to go there.
There we go.
You buried the lead a little bit. I'm a dude likes to stream, man. That's what I do. It's like, all right, what about the other thing? You know, that other thing we do.
Yeah, so, I got there. You didn't have to prop.
We have a little bit of a different episode. Gonna go ahead and throw that out there right now. A little bit of a different episode. Don't freak out. Don't change that dial. I could do a sit-down interview with my friend CC and ask him about little CC becoming medium CC, becoming today's size CC, and his journey in video games.
Big CC.
Big CC. Big CC.
Big.
Or we could riff for 2 hours, which we're also not going to do. Instead, because I had this idea today, we haven't really ever told the story of Speed Docs on a podcast.
No.
So we could do that.
To be fair, neither of us have ever been on a podcast together. Well, except for our own other podcast.
Except that other podcast that we did. Yeah.
Okay.
I really wasn't a part of that, though. I did 2 episodes. One was a test, and one was was I the finale?
No, we did an actual finale with just Squid and I. I think you were like 8 or 9.
Yeah. So, and we talked about stuff. The original format of the show was, we're talking about the Gold Split podcast, for those of you that don't know. Mm-hmm. We did do another podcast. It was a lot more riffy, a lot more tangential. Squidbird really shined in that one, I felt, and got to do a lot of Squidbird things in a good way. We had some good guests and we had some good laughs. That show is like kind of a radio morning show with a guest in a really fun way. And I really loved that show. When we started this other thing, I was like, I don't want to be like Gold Split because I kind of want to do like an interview type thing. But the original format of the Gold Split podcast, I guess was what I was originally going to say, was the person would do their speed run and you guys would do a podcast over it. And then we figured out very quickly that format doesn't work for a variety of reasons.
Yeah. I mean, maybe someone better than I could find a way to make that work. But yeah, we quickly noticed that like talking about the speedrun itself was like, we're like listening to them talk and then we kind of watch them play. And it's like, oh, this is kind of boring. But then when they tell stories, it's like, oh, this is fun. This is the fun part. I like talking about stories. Like I like talking about like, oh man, there's one time we were at GDQ and then this thing happened and we rode in the back of a car and some guy was drunk and he rode in the trunk because he's an idiot, right? You know, like, you know, it's like, oh man, those are good stories, right? And I love talking about that. But it was like, and here we're gonna skip this cutscene by doing that. Oh my god, nah, that's cool and all, but nah, not podcast material.
This is gonna be a never-ending classic. I can feel it in my bones.
With this video, this podcast?
This podcast, yeah. Well, it was... So the thing about the format, it was great when Lemon had like a 25-minute PB in I guess it's Defeat Ganon now. It was any percent then
Mhm.
in Ocarina of Time, and I had a 40-ish minute time in Mario Kart 64. Because you could hold a 40-minute conversation with me, and you could do a 30-minute conversation with Lemon, our friend
Mhm.
Calcium Lemon. Shout out to him. But it really didn't work for like any guest that you could think of getting.
Yeah, that did any longer speedrun.
Okay,
Like,
yeah, like like imagine doing one for Final Fantasy IX, a
yeah,
9-hour radio car show.
yeah, no,
Like that's awful.
yeah. I think we just didn't have an idea because like Squid knows Cerium from Earthbound, and that's like a 4-hour speedrun glitchless, right?
Hmm.
And Cerium was like, "Yeah, I'll be on the podcast." Then we're like, "Oh, well, how long is the podcast going to
Yeah,
be? How long?
we
How do we
got
do it?"
embarrassingly far into planning and didn't have an idea for the length of the podcast.
Yeah. So then we just scrapped it and we said, you know what? Let's just have Squid and I. We'll be chatting. We'll get a guest on, and we'll think of something to talk about. Like we'll talk
Hmm.
about current events. We'll bring people on, and we'll like chat with them about current goings on, or just sort of cool things in general.
Right. I think that I've pitched and maybe we have together, but I think you have the idea of doing a few more gold splits because it is a fun show.
Yeah.
But it can't be released regularly. The spirit of the show is when you have an idea for the show is funny and it appears, right?
Yeah.
Almost out of thin air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would definitely be the way to go. Is like, you know what? We're there's so much going on right now. We're so like full of material, right? We're just so like we're filled to the brim with stuff to talk about. We need
Mhm.
an outlet to let it out. And that's not the case. I think a lot of us are just kind of doing stuff, but we're all kind of bogged down, so we're not
Yeah.
really in a mood to just vent it all out. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Totally. No, I totally understand. I think that one day it'd be nice, maybe as like a push goal. If we have something that maybe we can get Squid out of retirement, get the
Hmm.
band back together between the two of you. I'd love to see it personally, just as a listener.
Yeah, it'd be fun. That's for sure.
If you want to check out the Goldsmith podcast, there are 10. Did we release the other two?
Good question. I don't think so, but maybe.
There are maybe 10 parentheses 12 episodes of the Goldsmith podcast. If you want to go listen to those, they are up on the Gold Split YouTube channel, and they're pretty fun to listen to. Honestly, they're not super timely, and they're just fun. They're just fun to go back and listen to. They're like fun little radio listen to on the way to work podcasts. So
Absolutely. Yeah, they're like an hour long each.
yeah,
So nice
now
little
that,
something or other.
good.
I was just gonna say nice little tidbits.
Yep. Now that we're done promoting a podcast that is defunct and not coming back anytime soon, let's carry on with this one.
Oh, we did, by the way. We did release those.
Oh, cool. So 12. Actually 12. I think it's fun to tell the story of how I met you.
Sure.
I think that's a fun story.
Yeah.
As a
It's
precursor.
it's a very small world story. Go ahead.
It's a very small world story. So, one of the comments that we get all the time and I've been seeing it more and more. I don't know if you've noticed. One of the comments that we see a lot recently on the videos is one among the fence, which we've gotten like 4 or 5 of those comments like in the last like couple weeks.
Oh yeah.
And that's a Coheed reference. And for those of you that don't know, Coheed and Cambria is a band, and that is sort of the impetus for CC's name. Spoiler: CC both stands for his name, and Coheed and Cambria, and Neverender is a song. Is it in Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth?
No,
the
it's
album?
on Second Stage Turbine Blade.
Okay, yes. God damn it! They're gonna revoke my card for this.
Dude, you're gonna get roasted so hard.
They're gonna snatch my chain.
He's a fake fan, dude.
Fake fan. So I was new to streaming, and when I first started streaming, I was a Mario Party speedrunner. Because I had read an article that said, if you want to like build an audience on Twitch, stream for a really long time. And I wanted to get into speedrunning. I really did.
Mhm.
And the only game that I played enough as a kid that I felt like I could just jump into it and speedrun it competitively, and I did. I did do that. There weren't a lot of runners at the time, but I did do it.
Mm-hmm.
Was Mario Party 3, which is for the N64. It's the last of the N64 Mario Party trilogy. So, sure enough, in my first couple of weeks of doing it, whenever I would stream Mario Party 3, I had like 20-ish people watching. This is before I was an affiliate. I didn't have any followers, but people would come and watch me play Mario Party 3. People that just liked Mario Party, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, I don't want to speedrun. So I told them all on my last stream, right? Hey, guys, I'm not going to play Mario Party tomorrow, but I am going to stream. Come hang out. I'm going to play through Star Fox 64. Not one of those people showed up. Not a single one.
That sounds like Twitch.
So I sat there by myself playing Star Fox 64. And I played it as a kid, and that's the extent of which I remembered it. I remember the voice lines more than I remember any part of the game. I don't think I ever beat the game as a kid.
Right.
And someone came into my chat and was giving me advice, and he was talking to me about speed runs, and he was talking to me about score runs and high score challenges. And I won't say his username. I know we have when we told the story in the past, but I'm just not going to.
Right.
And that guy was like, hey, he was the only one in my stream. He basically guided me through the Andross fight.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, cool. He helped me beat the game. He says, hey, if you want to see something cool, I'm going to do some score challenge runs on my channel. So I said, okay. So I stopped streaming. He started streaming. I go watch him. And he's doing some pretty cool stuff. I'm not really interested in challenge score runs, right?
Right.
That doesn't get me all hot under the collar. I'm not a big fan.
I love
but
your whatever's, yeah.
Yeah, my CJ-isms, right?
Yes.
I'm not like chomping at the bit to do score runs, but I did a couple, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he would come back and whatever. So one time, I'm doing some score runs, and I can't stress this to any of you enough. I'm awful. So anytime that I wasn't doing Mario Party, basically, if I didn't want to stream for 8 hours, and I just wanted to do a quick stream, I would do Star Fox 64.
Right.
And so one time, he starts streaming, I'm like, I'm done with this fucking game. So I start watching him stream. And he goes, all right, well, I'm actually going to end early, and we're going to go host my IRL friend. His name is CCNeverender.
Yep.
And he's playing, what is he playing? Pokemon Snap. Okay. All right, that's a pretty cool game, actually. And I'm like, okay, how do you fucking speedrun Pokemon Snap? Because I played a lot of Snap as a kid. I'm like, this is not a game that you can speedrun. So get in there. And I think J-Man's was there. I think Zazzy was there. Who are some of the other OGs? I think Big Boy Rincon was there.
Probably.
Yeah. So you had a bunch of the OGs there, and you're streaming Snap, and Nikki was there.
Yep.
You were talking about that what is it called? Stream Wisp? What was it?
Yeah, Game Wisp.
Game Wisp. So you had subs. This is before affiliate, right?
Yep. This is way before affiliate.
And you had Game Wisp, which people could subscribe to you and get like things in return.
Yes.
And so I think affiliate had just kind of rolled out recently. Not like super recently, but like in that time frame for whatever, and you had met it. And so within 10 minutes of being in your stream, you're listening to Coed and Cambria, which is my favorite band. I'm actually from upstate New York, and they're sort of they're like a hometown kind of gig up here.
Yeah.
And so I see you're playing Snap, which is a game that I love. You are playing Coed and Cambria, which is the music I love. And you are just, in general, having a good old fucking time. So, I immediately subbed, and I immediately donated like $20.
Sounds about right.
And that's how I met CC.
That's how you met me. You want to know what's I'm going to say it anyways. So
Support the things that you love.
No, there's that, but that's not what I'm talking about.
I know.
So, funny. Maybe this speaks poorly on me, but I have a thing where a lot of times I don't really remember people from the first interaction that I have. It's usually like the second or third interaction where you like make a place in my mind. Maybe it's because I see so many new people, that like I just can't save everybody on the first impression.
Sure.
So,
that lends to your like day job, right? Where it's like there's so many nameless, faceless people. You only remember the people that come back multiple times.
Yeah. So I think maybe that's what it is, but I'm just making excuses at this point. But what's funny is that I don't really remember that specific instance of when you came in and did all that. And I believe that you did that because that is your MO, right? But what's funny is I remember you were in our mutual friend Danimal Sounds Discord, and you posted a link saying, "Hey, I'm streaming Mario Party." And I was like, that name seems familiar. I'm going to see what this guy's up to. And then I saw, and I'm like, oh yeah, you subbed to me. Hey, then from there we really met. And I definitely was in your chat. And that's when I really sort of like remember meeting you. But it was
he hung out. Yeah.
The other way around, I was like, I don't remember you joining my stream at all.
Well, it's crazy because I knew Danimal Sounds before I ever met the other guy.
Mm-hmm. His name is Austin, by the way.
Okay,
that's his IRL name, and so you won't find him by his name. So
right. So I didn't know. I knew Dan before I knew Austin, right? Because I was a big fan of Dan. The reason I got into speedrunning Mario Party 3 is because I used to love watching Dan stream Mario Party 3.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would watch Dan. In fact, the summer before I started speedrunning, I spent the entire time I was employed, but I would come home from work, and from 5 at night until like 2 in the morning, I would watch Twitch. I would usually watch Dan and like Clint Stevens and ZFG. I know I'm awful. But so I knew Dan before that, and you were a mod in Dan's, not only his Discord, but his Twitch, and I didn't know that. I didn't know you from that. That's insane to me. That's the insane part.
It's funny how close we were, like in close proximity. And then it was my literal IRL classmate that I went to college with that that we actually I kept track with him through Discord and stuff. It was that was the connection that was made. Not the fact that we both watched Dan, not the fact that we both do speedruns, but the fact that my IRL classmate from college was the one who put us together.
That's the crazy part to me.
That is very crazy.
It is always the people you meet along the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that guy knows that he's the reason?
No, probably not.
He's not aware. He's like, what is
probably,
Speed Dogs?
Totally unaware. No, he knows about Speed Dogs. I think he's aware of what we do, but I don't think he follows us too closely. He does his own thing.
No, he doesn't for sure. A nice guy. If you're listening, Austin. It wasn't you, it was actually the game. I really just didn't like the game. But yeah, no, it was so crazy how close two celestial objects passed each other and didn't collide, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And because Dan also ran Snap and he ran Mario Party 3. He's the only other person that ran Mario Party 3 and Snap.
Yeah, well, that's because Mario Party 3 is a bad game, but...
And that was at the time where Dan was not streaming Pokemon Snap. That's when he had the Danimal Sounds meme. The Danimal Sounds PB. The 2101.
That's right.
Precipice of a good time.
I think it was a 2159.
No. Was it?
It was a 2159 or a 58. And the reason
2158, yeah.
It's like a sub Danimal Sounds is because if you got like a 21XX that was like, honestly, if you had like 2155, it's sub Danimal Sounds. But it's sub 22 is what it is. It's just his was the closest to that 22-minute line, and so we just said sub Dan.
Yeah. I think that Penguins is like 2201 now, so he's like the new. If you can get below a 2201, you have a good time.
Yeah, if it's sub Peng, then there you go.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Danimal Sounds. Good guy.
Yeah. Shout out to the homies.
Shout out to the homies. We're shouting out a lot of people that the people listening to this will never know. But this is really
no idea.
This is a podcast for the people.
Dude, the people have spoken.
I told you, this is a never-ending classic.
Yeah, there you go.
What's that episode of Hello Internet where Brady is just like, this is a classic episode?
I don't remember.
It's like number 66.
It's not a classic episode because I have no idea what you're talking about.
That might be the name of the episode too. Hang on.
Maybe it is.
All right, so then, let's see. About a year later, no, we were friends for a while.
Yeah, we were definitely friends for a while. That must have been 2016? If you subbed to me, that would have been 2017 because I've been a partner. I've been an affiliate for 3 years.
I started speedrunning in December of 2017. Yes, because I went to AGDQ 2019.
Yes.
And I didn't go to SGDQ 2018.
Okay.
So I've been to 2 AGDQs, 19 and 20, which meant that I started in December of 2017. I must have started doing Mario Party earlier than that because I did the thing with you in October. And I know that because I'm about to be 3 years subscribed to you next month. I'm at 35 months. Never missed a month.
Hell yeah.
I was at tier 3 for a while.
You were.
I had to get that jam emote. I think I used it once.
The defunct jam emote.
Rest in peace, based jam emote.
Yeah, speedrun.com says your obsolete PBs are from November 2017.
I might have been doing the Star Fox stuff beforehand, or I might have done runs and not submitted them. But yeah,
who knows?
And who knows? Anyway, who gives a shit? No one cares about my old Mario Party times. Although I was third at one point. Anyway, okay. So then, it was June. It was SGDQ 2018, and like 2 weeks before, you said it'll be 10 years to the day, that Friday before SGDQ. It would be 10 years to the day of the very first published Pokemon Snap speedrun.
Yep. GS 2402.
Yeah. So GS 2402 was 2008, June, the end of June, like June 22nd or some such. 2008. So you wanted to make a video, and you had said this in a passing way, that you wanted to make a video on the history of Pokemon Snap speedruns because, quote unquote, I think this is a direct quote, nobody is going to make a video about Pokemon Snap ever.
Yes.
Nobody.
So to elaborate, it was June 22nd, 2008 was the original posted.
Yep.
This was around the time. Yeah, see, you were good. You got it. This was around the time when, like, there was a lot of new content coming out. Like, I think Average Trey had put out a Sunshine video, world record progression kind of thing.
We're talking about 2018 at this point.
Yes, 2018. And it was ramping up a lot where a lot of other people were also working on things. Like R White Goose was also doing his Speed Lore series with GoldenEye stuff. And I think at some point, just before that, I had seen ZFG had done something called a movie night where he essentially downloaded a bunch of really, really old Ocarina of Time runs like from throughout history. And he was like, here's what any percent looked like back in 2006. Right. And then they watched the stream of it and they're like, this is before this was found. This is before this was found. Right. You have to see the old tricks, the tricks they did before the tricks they do now. And it was a really interesting historical showcase of like, oh, we had to actually watch what they used to do back in the olden days. Back in my day, we didn't do BOJ, you know. Like, you know,
I had to walk uphill both ways.
So it was really cool to see that. And so because I didn't have any video editing skills, what I did was I did a Pokemon Snap historical showcase. And I looked into the history and I sort of Googled it and I delved as much into it as I could. And I tried to find the oldest runs. And I found Gia's 2402, which was funny enough, had actually been miscategorized on the leaderboard. So it was not the oldest run on the leaderboard by a long shot. I actually had to dig it up from Speed Demo's archive, the actual date of it. But so there's that, and then I also found a couple other ones, one by Riker Z, one by Spark, and I think I also picked Toast and then Levon. So I
Sure.
picked 5 runs, and we said they're all 20 minutes or so. Let's just watch them back to back, and we'll do commentary, and we'll sort of talk about what's changed over the years. So I had already done a ton of research into the history of the game, when tricks were found, who found them, stuff like that. So it was a really fun experience to sort of dive into it. But I essentially had everything I needed to know about the history just in my mind at that point. And then, yeah, we talked about it. And I said, I would like to make an official video, or like a proper, nice video, because I think the game deserves it.
Yeah. So I did want to throw in here. You had said that it was starting to ramp up, and I have a spreadsheet with all the world record history videos that have been published to date. I keep track of things because I like to keep accurate records. And basically, 2017, it's all Salt, right? He makes his videos, and then Average Trey makes the Sunshine 90% video in September of 2017. Retro made the Ocarina of Time 90% speedrun in November. And then nobody else except for Salt made another history video until we did. And we made the Snap one, and then like 4 days later, the Malio video came out.
I was about to say Malio made his own video. But
Yeah.
they were just working in tandem. We were just working in tandem.
Yeah, so it was like the start, because after that, you have all different creators, people making their own games. So I'm not going to say that we were definitely not, we did not inspire anybody to make their videos. We definitely didn't do that. I think, if anything, maybe people realized you can make your own video. Because after Malio and us at that time, then everyone starts making videos for their own community.
Yeah.
That was in June. So we made that video in a week.
Yeah. I think it was 5 days.
Yeah, and it wasn't Speed Docs. It was CC's channel. CC wanted to make the video. I said, CC, I want to help you.
Yep.
So I said, I have experience working in studio environments and editing and like some production experience. And so part of it is people just don't know how, people don't have a process.
Right.
If you don't know what you're doing per se, for example, but you have a process that you can go through, then you can kind of work some of the stuff out that you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? That first thing, it's like, okay, what do we do now? Well, we have to write a script. So CC knew everything already, so we wrote the script. All right, now what do we do? Well, you have to record the VO. Okay. So we recorded the voiceover. Now what do you do? We need all the videos. All right, we got all the videos together. Now what do? We edit. Right? So it's like, and it sounds so simple. It's so simple. But if you don't have that, then you don't have anything. It takes you 6 months to make a video.
Exactly.
You know, or you have a process that works for you. We know somebody, I'm not going to out them. They write a line, they record a line, they edit the line, they write the next line. I think that's a really bad way to write a script. But it works for them.
Right.
You know? So, and then from that experience, because that video blew up at GDQ.
Exactly. Yes. I was checking my phone every day, and it was always just like, it was like doubling in size, like every time I looked at it. Be like, oh, it's got 1,000 views. Oh, it's got 2,000 views. Oh, it's got 5,000. Oh, it's at 10. Oh my God, we're at 30. You know, and by the end that like, we're like, it's like literally Friday night, we're having ramen with the boys, right? Mike and Lemon and Penguin and I are having ramen at some obscure, you know, Japanese ramen noodle house in the middle of Minnesota, you know, Minneapolis, and they're like, so how many views are we at? I'm like, at 150 views, 150,000 views. They're like, 150,000? So.
Yeah, dude. That video was insane. It just was the perfect storm, you know? There wasn't a lot of content for it. And it was pretty well received.
Yeah.
So we made that video. Response was okay to good. And so we thought about it and we're like, man, we can make more of these videos, dude. Like, we can pump these out. So what game can we actually do? And so, as Adam said, we put our fingers together, and we said, well, what games does CC speedrun? Because we're not doing a video on Mario Party 3. That's awful. No one will watch that. And the only other game that I speedrun at the time was Mario Party 5. And Snap. So I was like, all right, we already did Snap. So CC, what other games do you speedrun? And you're like, Fable. Fable would be good.
Fable in particular was interesting because while I also ran it, I also was very interested in a lot of the people who ran it, like Adam and KJ Freshly. Those are the two, and I loved watching their streams, and so I was always hanging out with them, and I was always like learning the new strats and things, and so I knew those guys really well, and so it was just like, this is a really cool game with some cool history. I know most of it already. Like, let's just dive in.
Yeah, it was really cool. You particular would host and raid KJ Freshly a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I had known KJ that way. And while we were working on the video, you said, don't want to get your hopes up, but I just want to let you know, there's this young upstart. His name is Clean Sarah, and he's kind of close to the record. And I said, how close is he? And you said, really fucking close. Like, he's second. He might get it. And then, while we were making the video, he got the record.
Yeah. I think I had already finished the script, and I had to
we had to rewrite it. Yeah. And then KJ came and took it back.
Yeah.
And that's the iconic GG, which ends the video. Flatter than 4 o'clock, right? Just fucking, just like ends at GG. He like leans back in his chair.
Yeah.
And so that video was kind of organic. It was kind of living, and it was kind of like changing on the fly, which was a really cool experience to have.
Mm-hmm.
And we made a new channel. We get made fun of for the name, but the name works. It is what it is. Yeah. I have really bad names. I've named I named my two businesses, the Streamer Group and Speed Ducks. So I'm not great at coming up with names, but neither is anyone else because no one suggests anything better.
There you go.
So we're doing all this stuff, and while we're doing all this, like that May, my stepdad had cancer for a long time, and he fell and he broke his hip in May, which is one of the reasons I didn't go in June to SGDQ. So I wasn't there for that. And then July was kind of like, well, he has pneumonia, he's got this, he's got that, and he can't walk up the stairs anymore, so we made his bedroom on the main floor, and I think the video came out. I want to say that we had that tweet. YouTube Gaming retweeted our video, or tweeted our video out.
Mm-hmm.
The Snap video, and that was insane. That was like I almost framed that and put that on the wall. That was like the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, the fact that YouTube Gaming just randomly, without mentioning it to us or anything, we're just like, yo, CCNeverender talks about Pokemon Snap. Come check it out. I was like, yo, we got retweeted by YouTube Gaming.
And it was the end of our video, so they took in like an edit of our video and they like tweeted that out. That was the cool part.
Mm-hmm.
But my stepdad had died right before that.
Oh.
He passed away, and so he never got to see Speed Docs at all.
Damn.
And I know exactly where I was when I got that tweet. When you sent me that and you said, bro, we did it, we made it. Because I was in Burlington Coat Factory looking for ties for him for his casket. And we were trying to find a tie that had the pinstriping that matched his shirt. It's kind of this really cool thing, and it's a really important part of both of our lives. And, you know, one of the most important people in my life didn't ever know me when I did it. So, really tough part of my life. Actually, the video got delayed a week because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And we had all this momentum, and it kind of died a little bit when my stepdad passed, and then the video came out, and we launched a new channel, because the reason we had to make a new channel was because your channel couldn't get monetized.
Yeah. I don't know the reason, and YouTube has never and will never tell me why. I have a feeling it's because I play Command and Conquer Generals, and that game has copyright, or I guess not copyrighted. I guess it is copyrighted, but it's like licensed music
Mhm.
as part of like the stuff. And so on YouTube, it gets flagged. Every video gets flagged. Um, but it's like they're not like claiming anything. So, and I never monetized any of my videos, like never intentionally did. So it was never an issue because I never met the monetization stuff. But I guess I had so many like, quote unquote strikes, not even strikes, but like just like copyright
Invisible strikes, right?
yeah, like notices. They're like, "Hey, by the way, just letting you know, your video's gotten like tagged. You're not in trouble, but you're just letting you know it. Someone else, the copyright holder, has taken notice of this, and they're putting a flag on your video, right?"
Yeah.
So because I had so many of those, I'm guessing, I cannot monetize my YouTube channel. So the CCNeverender YouTube channel is not monetizable, and I don't really care because that doesn't make me any money. But
Mhm.
that Pokemon Snap video, I got literally nothing for it.
And it meant that we couldn't rename your channel, hide the rest of it, and put new videos on that channel. That's
Yeah.
what we wanted to do.
Yeah. It would be great. We got like 2,000 subs in a week. We got
Yeah, dude.
I think that video's over 300,000 views. It's
It
unfortunate.
still gets views, dude.
It still gets views, and it's more viewed than any video we've ever done since.
Yeah, it's pretty frustrating.
Yeah.
So, the kicker to that Fable video is that it came out and we got, after the first month, 10,000 views.
Was it 10,000?
It wasn't that much. It was very little.
Yeah, it was.
And like we had like 1,000 by the end of the night, and we're like, "What happened?
Yeah.
What happened?"
Yeah.
It was humbling to say the least.
Yeah, for sure.
And it made us reevaluate everything because we reused so much of what we did in Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, a lot
And
of art assets and things.
Yeah, we had a copyright strike which got removed.
Thank goodness.
Because we used the Fable music. We used that damn chalkboard graphic.
Yeah.
We ran that into the ground. We had the slate that had the film thing on it. It was awful. And so Pokemon Snap was mixed to good because people at the time, like, I can't explain this enough. There was no other content. Now it's like there's a progression video every week.
Yeah.
Right? If you want speedrunning video content,
it's out there.
It's out there. And you can thank Summoning Salt, honestly. Right?
Yeah.
Because there really isn't anything. I mean, before him, it's like Goose with the speed lore stuff and like, I don't know, was Carl active at the time? Who knows?
No.
There's older content out there, but not serialized, not accessible. So if you want to thank someone for accessible speedrun content, you can thank that guy, right?
Yeah.
There was other stuff, there was podcasts and stuff, but not the consumable mainstream stuff that you enjoy now. So there's that. And so we had to reevaluate everything that we did. And we went back to the drawing board and we're like, what are we going to do? And so we decided to do Minish Cap. You want to talk a little bit about that? I feel like I'm talking too much.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
CJ, it's all good.
Don't. I knew it. So I forget exactly what it was, but I know that Fable is one of the games that I knew really well. And we know our good friend Quo, who a lot of you might know through Speed Doxathon or just being around with us at times.
He was the first guest on this show.
Yep. Oh, I forgot. He's already been on this show. he was also on was it on Gold Split? I don't remember. It's been a while.
No, he was not.
Okay. So yeah, we know Quo, and we were talking, and Quo was like, "Hey, I actually have been working on a Minish Cap world record progression type video, like a history video, but he works like 2 jobs, and he's still going to school, and he's like, it'll never get made. Like it won't be made until like 2025, if that, right?" And so we were like, you've already written a script, you've already written like the stuff. Like, let's go through it and let's make this a speed doc video. We will literally make this video in like a month or two, as opposed to like 7 years. Like, literally, let us do this. And he's like, okay, I'll let you have it. Just make sure that I'm part of it, right? I'm like, okay, cool. We'll share the script. We'll go back and forth, right? You know, this is your video as much as it is ours, but I mean, it's collectively we're gonna make this video happen. And yeah, we worked together with Quo, and Quo, you know, helped us, you know, like make sure we were correct in a lot of places, and we kind of tidied up his script so that it was more, you know, readable and just it flowed better. And together we all worked together to make that project really good. And we put our heads together and we made that video happen in like I think 2 months, something like that. And yeah, that video came out and it was a success. You know, that I think that was one of our best videos. It's a little different style. What's funny is I realized, I think only after the video came out did I realize, oh, we don't even say this is a Speed Docs video until the very end.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty wild. So he had that while we were doing that video with Quo, right?
Mm-hmm.
We actually made another video in that time, which we constantly forget about. The 100%, the Snap 100%.
Oh yeah.
So, in our attempt to capitalize on, maybe the people want more Snap, right? We tried to make a 100% video. Man, that didn't work.
Yeah.
The people did not want Snap. They did not want any more Snap. So, 100% is actually the video that I use. I'm going to say this because it's funny.
Yeah.
As the barometer for what a successful video is. It's like the subbed animal sounds. If you have one view more than the 100% video, you are a success in my eyes. Because the 100% video, God, that was such a disappointment. It had like it took so long to get to 10,000 views.
Yeah.
Like Fable had like 30, and Snap was like nothing, right?
Yeah. We tried to bottle the lightning, you know, as it were. And we could not recapture that. But I mean, it's a good video, but it's just for whatever reason, nobody cared. Nobody cared about 100% nearly as much as they cared about any percent.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, but that video did not do very well. So metrically, it's a bit of a failure. But
and that was also part of the clip. So we had this thought. I guess you should explain it. Go ahead.
So originally when we were doing it, we were like, what if we made long form content being like 30, 40, 50 minutes, right? What if we made long form content, but in the meantime, in between those big videos, we made shorter videos that were like 20 minutes, right? And so we were going to call them two different shows. There was going to be Speed Docs, which is in general Speed Docs, what we do now. But then there was going to be the clip, and the clip was supposed to be like just a shorter, get in, get out, tell a short story, and be done with it, kind of thing. And it just, for whatever reason, all the videos that were titled the clip, people just didn't understand, and we didn't really make it clear the difference. And people were just like, just make it a full video.
Yeah, they were like, people didn't watch it if a video was named the clip. The day we changed the naming of all the videos, every video got like 1,000 more views that day. Yeah,
everything immediately jumped up. And I forget, what video was it that made us change?
We didn't do any more after Tony Hawk.
Yeah, we didn't change it immediately. It was like the video after Tony Hawk, we decided to go back. Was it Donkey Kong?
Donkey Kong was always going to be a speed doc. We did the Snap any percent video. Oh, was it the hot dogs?
I feel like it was before hot dogs. Anyways, at some point, we decided we're just going to get rid of the clip and just call it a speed doc. And that's when we got plenty of more views. And I forget, it was somewhere around Donkey Kong Country or hot dogs. It was around there somewhere. Yeah. So Tony Hawk, great video.
And it was sillier, you know, but people liked it, and the Tony Hawk community was great. We've had so many friends from that video: Silent Law, Big Law, Packle, you know, and everyone from that video was just great to work with.
Absolutely.
And that was the end of 2018. So we made 4 videos, technically 5 in 2018, right?
Right.
So then that new year, we had started working on Donkey Kong. And we started that video in December.
Yep.
And Donkey Kong came out April 30th.
Yep.
It was around your birthday, as a matter of fact.
On my birthday.
It was on your birthday.
Yep.
Hot dog. So
hot dog.
So that video took so long. We were not, I don't think going into that video, we were prepared for how long it would be. And how much to it there was. And that was the first game, because you had run Thug, you had run 100%. Donkey Kong Country was the first game that we ever did where you didn't speedrun it, and one of our very close friends didn't speedrun it.
Yeah, we were breaking into new ground, right? Like none of us had any prior experience. We didn't know anybody in there.
It was almost awkward. We didn't know how to do it.
No, I agree. We definitely had to stumble our way through it, but we made it.
I remember there was somebody, I'm not going to name them, I do remember who it is. They were like, oh, more speedrun record history videos.
Yeah, someone else trying to come in and cash in on that YouTube money, huh?
And then they watched our videos and like, actually, your videos are really good. I'd kind of like to see what you guys do with Donkey Kong.
Yeah. So
I
mean, listen, I would probably have the same mentality if some random no-name person showed up in my Discord and was like, hey, I want to make a video about your speed game. I'd be like,
exactly.
Who are you? Who in the world do you think you are to make a video about my game? Right? So
we were so ballsy, dude. We were like, yo, work with us. But that video too is really weird. So we met so many great people in that video. Peachy, Ezin, of Tampa. The only in we had in that video. The only reason we thought to do that video was because we talked to Tampa for the Minish Cap video.
Yep. And I think at the end of the recording or somewhere afterwards, he was like, hey, you guys should also look at doing Donkey Kong Country because I do a lot of task work for that game as well, and it's really sick. I'm like, okay, cool.
As we're hanging up the phone, and I was like, CC, I want to do Donkey Kong. Like, there are a few videos I've willed into existence. That's one of them. But unfortunately, as much as I wanted that video, I didn't work on it too much. I was in the hospital.
Yep.
So I was very sick at that time, and I ended up in the hospital in the end of March. So we had been working on it forever, and then eventually got to the point where I just couldn't do it. I couldn't.
You couldn't physically do it, and it was like I think it was I think you got sick around like February because it was like all of March. Not all of March, but like a lot of March. I was kind of sitting on my hands, just like, when are we going to start working on this video, or when is this video going to be done? You know. And I'm just sitting here waiting, and then I forget how it happened, but at some point I was like, what if I take a crack at it? Like, what if we get, or I think it was like, what if we get a guest editor? What if we find someone who's done videos that we know and see if they want to help out? And some people, we asked a few people, and they're like, no, I'm sorry, man. I'm busy right now and I can't do it. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I took a class in college. I know Photoshop. I can fumble my way through Premiere. Sure. And,
a lot of the assets were made.
Yeah.
I will say that was one of the only things that I was able to do. I did the intro. I did the music because that was at the end.
Yeah.
And I had made the graphics.
All the graphics. I think you'd even picked out a lot of the shots. So a lot of the visuals were already spoken for a lot of that.
Up through like the middle to end of the video, I think I had done it. And so that's kind of like a kind of a secret part of our process where we make a shot list where it's everything that I want on screen when I want it on screen during his VO. We go ahead of time in pre-production and we find it in the video and we timestamp it. So it's just
plug and play.
But yeah, that's the only video I didn't edit. You edited that one.
Yep. So because I got tired of sitting around no offense, waiting on you.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna try. And I think it turned out pretty well.
It is, and it was, and is our best video we ever made
At
in
least
terms of
metrically.
performance. Yeah.
Metrically, I agree 100%. It's also, I think, I would say that's probably where I found my stride with script writing.
Hmm.
Because the whole time I was like, man, I feel like I'm just like going through the motions. But I was like, this video in particular, there's like a thread. There's this running thread that I see. Like I can look in between the lines. I'm looking at the timeline of the history, and I can see there's a common thread that's like hooking it all together. And I'm like, and I just had to grab it and just pull on it a little bit, and then it all kind of came together. And that was that jump rolls in that game are fucking hard. And that game is unrelentingly difficult to do a speed run of, just because it's like spoiler, it ends up being 7 frame perfect tricks, and if you miss one of them, the run's over. There's no retries, no resets, or no sorry, there's no retries, no second, no mulligans. It's
Yeah.
if you miss it, run's over. It's a
Runs over.
40-minute slog.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Do you think that, because you didn't have me for that most of that project, do you think that made you a better script writer and made you better at speed docs because you had to do a lot of that on your own?
Probably. I think it's the trial by fire thing, right? You learn a lot when you have, like, whenever there's like the safety net of like, oh, we're all working together. If I drop something, you're gonna pick it up, and if you drop something, I'll pick it up. Like we'll cover each other, right? But that does mean that we're like more safe in that regard, where we don't have to take as many chances. But on this one, it was very much like I think I had to go out on a limb, and that taught me like sink or swim. It's like you just gotta learn, you gotta get into it. But I think that taught me things about the process. That taught me things about, just the process in general and just how we do this. Where I'm like, okay, I'm seeing how this works, and I see. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah, I think I learned a lot from doing that, and I think I carry that with me.
Yeah, for sure. After that, we did the Snap Redux, because in between all the videos, a lot of history had happened. Like that year, I think not just the Snap community, I would say our immediate group of friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were talking about SGDQ, you, Mike, Penguin, and Lemon at Ramen. By AGDQ 2019,
Yeah, a year later.
not even a year, 6 months later, right?
No, I was talking about SGDQ, because that was when the Pokemon Snap video came out the first time.
Yes. So I'm talking about by AGDQ 2019.
Gotcha.
The group was huge.
Yeah.
It was way bigger. I mean, we had a hard time eating at restaurants.
Yeah.
It just we couldn't all go together. And then by SGDQ, I mean, there's that photo of everyone that was in the race. It was like 24 people.
Yeah, it was like at least like 18 or 19 people.
So we had the tournament in that time, which we found a way to do a tournament format for Snap. You and me commentated a bunch of the matches.
Yep.
I got sick during that time. I ended up being a part of history, as I was dunked on by Drogi, who got a world record in a tournament match in a game that's not a friendly tournament format game.
Right.
And then there was a really crazy push for sub 240. There was a lot of drama. People were actually playing the game, and it was just really cool to see, and it was cool to see it happening in real time. So because we didn't have the video on the channel, because you can't move videos to you can't re-upload it with the view count.
Right.
And because it really wasn't representative of the job that we'd been doing, we decided to remake the Pokemon Snap Any % video. I think the first one was like 18 minutes or 16 minutes. We doubled the length, basically. We added like 10 minutes, 12 minutes onto it. We fixed a few errors.
Yeah.
I redid it from scratch. So
yeah,
it was a better job. Also, there were no interviews in that original Snap video.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we didn't do interviews back for the original, and that's something that we started doing for Speed Docs.
That was our hook for how we were going to be different. And at first, people like it now. The people hated it. They fucking hated it, dude.
I think it was just maybe we weren't ready for the implementation. We didn't know because we had made the video without interviews, and then we tried to force them in on the Fable video. And that at first, that one definitely, I think the Fable video definitely was like we tried to force it in.
Yeah.
And we learned how to do it later on, but at first it was not good.
They were like, "Fuck you! I don't want to hear this other guy. I want to hear you." They were so fucking mad, dude. They were gonna shit. That's how mad they were. I was like, they were rabid about it. So if Pokemon Snap, the original, was like good to okay to good, Fable was like okay. Like the comments were very much like, "Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?" 1 and 2. Who the fuck are these other people? Yeah. I don't want to hear them. I don't want to hear what they're doing. I don't want to. It's like, okay, damn, fuck. So Snap was a great video, and Snap did really well. Nothing has ever done the heights of the original Snap video, but the channel was growing, and after the Donkey Kong video, right before the Donkey Kong video came out, we got monetized.
Yep.
And that let us just keep going and just keep hammering it and putting more money into it.
Yep.
I put a lot of my own money into it up until that point, so just having a little financial reprieve was really great. And the Snap video, the second one, not 100%, the second any percent video.
Yeah.
We went from no one will make a video about Snap to having 3 Snap record videos. And that last video was a love letter to the community. I don't care that it's inaccurate. People like to comment that it's inaccurate. It was accurate for its time, and it is not so much a history as it is a love letter to everyone that plays that game, because we really got into the community stuff in that one, and I'm really proud of it.
Yeah. There was a point where we literally rattled off like 20 different names of people who were actively running and PBing in the top levels of the community that were in the tournament, and it's like we're talking about Otter and Collins and Candy, and we're talking about Penguin and you and me and Liam, and Lemon was there, and Flair, and Demon Freaks, and a bunch of other names of people who were all Mike,
Xerix,
Squid, Xerix, yes, Karmers, all these people who were like coming out of the woodwork. Literally, like I at the start of the year, I said, you know what? I am hosting a Pokemon Snap tournament. Like I have always wanted to host a tournament, and I want to host a tournament for Snap, and that was enough to get the ball rolling, and a lot of people came out, and it was a really great time.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
But yeah, that video in particular, we really focused on the tournament a lot, and so it was a lot of fun to sort of like relive all that. Plus,
I will cut.
It's just like the other video, the first video, the original any percent video, kind of left off on like and Quo got a 2050 and that's it, right? But it kind of was like that. Is that Quo got a 2050 and no one was like super impressed, because I don't know why, just because people were dumb. But no one got another PB, another one. No one broke the world record for over a year. Literally over a year.
And no one was playing it. The only one that was playing it was Levon.
Yeah. But like nobody was playing and no one cared. And then when I announced the tournament, we broke the record in like a week or two.
Yeah, like we got back from GDQ and the record broke 4 times before the end of the month.
Yeah.
Liam Kings had the record.
Yeah.
Liam learned the game at AGDQ 2019 and he had the record before like February.
Yeah. So, I mean, just a ton of innovation and a ton of motivation was pumped in, and it did a lot of work. So really liked that tournament, and I liked the video in general. So
yeah. All right. Okay. We as a unit function really well, I think, and I said this at the end of Speed Doxathon.
Mm-hmm.
I think we function really well because we enable each other to just go off and take creative risks.
Yeah.
Your risks are a lot safer because you take like narrative risks.
Mm-hmm.
and I am like, we're doing a video on hot dogs.
Was this your idea?
So I was watching Pear-Strike, and he wasn't running all tracks, no dupes at the time. He would do some ILs, and then for the last hour of his stream, he'd like, okay, we're gonna do some hot dogs. And love you, Paul. And he would do an hour of hot dogs, and I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, I would start tuning in, and so finally he explains the thing, right? And so it's a speed run where you have to get 5 hot dogs in city trials. So there's this open world, you have to go around and get the 5 hot dogs.
It's a random item that spawns. Normally you're supposed to collect upgrade patches, but hot dogs are a random food item that heals you a little bit if you take damage. So it's like such a minute random item to get, but it's a hot dog. And
it's funny, right? Yeah.
That's the whole point. It's stupid and it's funny.
So there is an event on the map called the Castle Chamber event. And in that Castle Chamber, it will if you get that event, which is a random event, and there's a bunch of random events that can occur, you have a chance of getting. So it will give you all of one item. I think it's 6.
Yes.
It will give you 6 of one item. If you're lucky enough, it has the possibility to drop 6 hot dogs, which 5 hot dog percent. It would give you enough to get the 5 hot dogs. And the earliest it can spawn is like a minute 3. So you can get the event, but have it not be early enough. You can have an event start at a minute 3, but not have it be the right event. And you can have the event start at the earliest it can start. You could be there when the chamber opens and have it not be hot dogs.
Yep.
Have it be one of the other 50 million items in the game.
Yeah, and I think someone calculated the odds, and it's astronomical to get the best possible time to get that event and to get that item.
So
it's just ridiculous.
It's an amazing feat that someone pulled that off. Yeah. And I was there when he got it. And the man lost his ever-loving mind when he got it. He had my favorite pop-offs of anyone we've ever covered Pear-Strike. And goddamn, he got everything out of every fucking laugh. He fucking got the goddamn record. And it's a meme, but it's an actually hard meme.
And it's actually, the history is actually interesting. I actually love the history for that. It's such a funny story.
Yeah, it's a terrific video. It's 15 minutes. And so we were going to make an all tracks and all tracks no dupe video. Those histories are intertwined. But you can't. I was like, we can't pass this up. We gotta ask them about hot dogs. So we start interviewing people, and some people are like, I think it's just a meme, and people thought it was funny, so they did it. That's literally what like David says.
Yeah, yeah. David's quote in that video is we're like, everyone was taking it seriously. David's like, I think it's like a joke or something. They all run around and get hot dogs. I don't know.
Yeah, David is like, for those of you that don't know, one David J, serious speed racing guy, and he has no time for fucking hot dogs.
Yeah, well, he's not super serious, but he's definitely
he's a good guy.
Yeah,
he's like gonna steal your girlfriend in his F-Zero GX all track snaking, but he's got no time for fucking hot dogs. Fucking, but Pear-Strike just relished in it, and we got a lot of fun with that script. It was really fun to make.
Yeah,
but I made Kirby Air Ride 5 hot dogs and all tracks no dupes and the Snap video. Those videos came out within 3 weeks. I made those 3 videos in 3 weekends. Yeah. Because I felt really bad that I didn't do Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
You have the message. It's in our DMs. I said, I've atoned for my Donkey Kong sins.
Yep.
So those videos are great. The all tracks video is, I think, our sleeper hit. Like, it's a really good 100%. Video.
That video was amazing. I think it's one of my best. It's another one where I thought I really hit my stride. Because I think that was like when I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a game that I don't think I have like a really good narrative thread, and I'm gonna like build it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Instead of it being like given to me, I have to like make it. And I think I did really well with it. So I was really happy with that video. It came together really well.
And then after Kirby Air Ride, and you can tell this story, we started Ratchet and Clank in August.
Oh,
Do you know the date we published Ratchet?
was it October?
November 29th.
Oh no! Oh man, God, that video is so long.
It's a long history for sure.
It's definitely a long history, but it just keeps going. So, at SGDQ, we were already putting the final touches on the Kirby's Air Ride video, or did that already come out by then?
Those videos were done before I left for SGDQ.
Okay, so they came out because I know Pearstrike shouted it out.
Yes. Yep.
So we were there, and so we talked to Zem92 in person. I'm like, yo, bud, I want to make a Ratchet and Clank Speed Dogs video. And he was like, I know who you are. You made the Donkey Kong video. And I was like, that's me. That's me, dude.
We also know him through Dan.
That's true. We do know him through Dan. So, but he was like, dude, I love your videos. Yeah, I would love to work with you. I'm like, hell yeah. So we ended up talking, and then we sat down and we decided a video to do. And we also got Ricky on board. And we ended up just making, it took a long time, but we dived into it. And as we started going, it's like, okay, these guys know what they're doing. They have a very detailed history of like our timeline of like all the glitches, when they're found, all that stuff. These guys know what they're doing. They're on the ball, but it's so info dense, right?
It's very info dense.
Yeah, but it's really cool to go through the history and see. But like, and again, here's where the narrative thread comes in. In all the interviews, like every time I would talk to somebody, they'd be like, you should talk to these two people. And I talked to one person, they go, oh, you should talk to these two people. And then everyone would say, you should talk to these people. And I would just kept going and going and going. Normally we only had like 3 or 4 interviews per video. This one we had 9.
Yeah. Usually what happens, it's like you talk to Void, and Void's like, hey, you should talk to Eason. And it's like, okay. And then Eason's like, you should talk to Peachy. And then you get to Peachy and it's like, you should talk to Void. It's like, okay, that's not how that went at all. But it closes the loop. But you talk to Ricky, he's like, yeah, you should talk to One Tabloid. It's like, okay. And then we talk to One Tabloid. You should talk to
oh, you need to talk to Prince Vortex and S Laughter. And
yes.
It's like, oh, you also need to talk to Azaki. You need to talk to Zem. You need to talk to every person that's ever played this video game.
Yeah, we had 9 interviews, dude. It took 2 months just to get the damn interviews.
Yeah, it took a long time.
And then because we kept interviewing more and more people, the script kept changing. Mm-hmm. At one point, at one tally, the script was so long. I was like, "This is gonna be an hour-and-a-half video."
Yep.
It was so, and it is. It's a 90-minute and 21-second video. It is so long.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great video, and PlayStation speedrunning doesn't get a lot of love.
Yeah.
So happy to be doing more. We're doing more. That was our first and our last one that we did, so we're going to be doing some more in the future. But
yeah, absolutely.
But we met a lot of cool people, and that's the other thing. As we get closer to SDAT. That's how SDAT's possible. Because we met all these people from every video that we ever did. Mm-hmm. And we just kept building on it. And just building and building and building. So, we tried to make another video. The only video we could make was Fable: The Lost Chapters Part 2. Not the only video. We chose to make that video.
Yeah. There was another video in the pipeline, and it was just like, we can make one more video before HDQ. Maybe we can possibly catch a little bit of a speedrunning content wave, get more stuff out. So let's pop in a real quick Fable Part 2, because a lot of things have changed. And again, I'm so close to a lot of the Fable boys, so it was cool to sort of reconnect with them again and follow up. And we made a cool Part 2 video.
Yes, we did. Not a lot else to say about it. There were some cool updates that we thought we would showcase. I would say we're probably not going to make another Part 2, unless something really interesting happens in a game.
It'd have to be, and I think we just need more time. Like the Speed Dog videos are really good because they cover like years and years of history.
Yeah.
Except for hot dogs, but That's beyond the point. All the other videos cover like 5 or 10 years of history, right? Whereas a lot of the part twos are like maybe a year and a half. So I think he just needs more time to bake.
Yeah. I'm gonna mention this now. We won't bring it up later. We did do another part 2 video. We did Minish Cap part 2. Kind of the same thing. The video was there to be made, and we just wanted to get a video before we went to SGDQ. Although that we didn't go to SGDQ because COVID. So I think we were just trying to make videos because I was home. I wasn't working at the time. So, yeah. And that kind of gets us into kind of a touchy subject. We're going to talk about it because we talked about everything else. The Banjo-Kazooie video.
Yes.
The 100% video. I think our official stance is that the video exists. Some people in the comments are confused that we deny that the video exists. No, I made this video. We made this video. It exists.
Yeah. But it's not like publicly easily reachable.
Yeah. It's unlisted. We didn't private it because again, we worked 4 months of our lives into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we spent a lot of time on this video and we're not going to get rid of it. But
we took a lot of risks and it really paid off. It was our best video on the channel for a long time. And I thought we did great work. I thought the script was really good. I thought the structure of it was really good. I thought the interviews were great. Like everything about it was really good. And we're not going to dwell on it. We're not going to talk about the specifics of it, but there was the issue with Stivity Bobo, the allegations that came out. And we talked about it that night. Like, we made a decision in like 6 hours. Yeah. And
as soon as it came out, it's like, oh boy, okay. After work, everybody needs to, we need to get online and we need to have a round table. What do we do now?
And it just felt, we don't have any bearing on his life at all, right?
Yeah.
But all we can do is, and we were getting tweets, when are you taking the video down? Like people were like going a little nuts. And, so we took the video down. I personally felt, and I'm not going to speak for you, but I'd like to hear what you think now. I thought it was a little irresponsible for us to, if we decided to leave it up. And only in this particular case, because it is a video about his accomplishments. So I didn't want it to be an endorsement. Also, I'd like to say they are allegations. And we took the allegation seriously as evidenced by what we did, right?
Right.
But we're very careful not to say like we don't know, we weren't there, but this felt like the responsible thing to do. If anything ever comes to this, we'll make a permanent decision then, which is why it's intentionally hard to find and it's unlisted. Because we didn't want to, like the Smithsonian still has the Cosby sweaters in it. That's a weird endorsement if you the more you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, museums have Nazi memorabilia stuff. It's there to remember.
It is. Do we need to remember Bill Cosby?
I mean, granted, we could probably leave out Bill Cosby, but it doesn't mean that he didn't exist, and that doesn't mean that his attributions or his attributions. Is that what I'm trying to say? The things that he's contributions to comedy and just the scene in general aren't valid. But yeah, I mean, so I guess my feelings on it is that it was, this video in particular was a video about Stiv. As much as this was a video about Banjo-Kazooie, this was a video about Stivity Bobo. It'd be like if this is a video about Michael Jordan and it turns out Michael Jordan did like a bunch of terrible things, it'd be like, this doesn't feel in good taste to leave it up. This is like immortalizing and enshrining him. But if the allegations are true, I would not have made that video with Stivity Bobo if we knew, or if they're true and if they were known to be true beforehand, right?
Yeah. So, and it's like, would you have jumped in the pool if you knew there were sharks in it? No. Okay, that informs my decision on what I should do now, right?
So it's like now it's easy because we can look back and see, oh, that's maybe we made that video's in bad taste, so we're gonna leave it unlisted for now. in the future, I would think that if one of the runners in the long history of a game turns out to have done bad things, then we just have to, I don't know how to I don't know how to handle it. If it's appropriate, we'll mention the allegations, and if it's not appropriate, we'll just move on.
Yeah.
I guess, do we want to mention in the Donkey Kong Country series, there is a person of particular allegations.
Yeah, the I don't know if we want to name them, but
We won't name them. There is somebody that is just like, he's part of the history. He's not a super, super significant part of the history, but he is part of the history.
so we glossed over it.
So we mention that this person is a part, and then we kind of just move on.
You couldn't do that with Banjo because there was no he was the tip of the spear.
Yeah.
He
was
just
the whole spear.
yeah, he was the spear, the hunter holding the spear, and the woods the hunter was hunting in, and everyone else was in the camp back home. And he's for what it's worth, really fucking good at Banjo-Kazooie. A game that I love, a video that I loved making. I really got a lot of the visual stuff that I was going for in that one. The story was great. I had a big hand in writing the story. The research was fun. The Banjo community, by the way, everyone that we worked with was super professional, super great to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Asmi, Hyper, who kind of got caught up in that too. 8-Bit Beast we talked to.
Yep.
Smasher 32 was an amazing interview, which recontextualized the whole history of the game, which they didn't know, which was amazing. That was a great nugget of information. We're hyping up a video that people can't watch, so I'm going to stop, but it is, you can find it. If you want to go looking for it, you want to spend an hour looking for it, you go ahead. But it is unlisted. We did make it intentionally hard to find. No, we don't have plans to unlist it to make it public again. If something changes in the future, we'll revisit it in the future. Yeah. If more information comes out, we'll probably revisit it. But the safest thing we can do is just leave it unlisted. That makes everybody happy.
Yeah, it's the best of both worlds. It's not easy to find. It doesn't look like we're trying to enshrine him. But if you are very determined to see our work, you can.
Yeah, and a few of you do every single day.
Yeah, it still gets a few views. So somebody out there knows what it is.
And we had to disable comments because every fucking comment for the last month was, "Why'd you take the video down?" Every comment.
Every single one.
The last 10 comments were, "Why'd you take the video down?" And they still keep commenting, "Why'd you take the video down?"
A bit of a sidebar, as an interesting note, someone I remember hearing on a podcast or something, but someone said, like, for every viewer on Twitch, there's 100 viewers on YouTube. So YouTube just has a way broader base, but that also means that a lot of people who watch our videos aren't super up to date on all the history. And so, like, literally telling every single person who comes in who hasn't heard of the news or whatever, it's just exhausting. So
yeah.
So we just take these comments off. It's just easier that way.
The Hollow Knight video was because at AGDQ 2019, we met our first fan.
Yeah.
And that's Visuals.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Visuals here in a minute, but yeah, no, that was terrific. And he told us that so the story of beating him is interesting. CC likes Melee.
Yes, I do.
And he likes it a lot. And I hate it. But I like how much CC likes Melee. So whenever I'm at an event, I always go watch CC play Melee. And I play with him. And I watch him beat the shit out of other people that don't play Melee. And I watch him enter the tournament. Every year. Every time that I'm with him and he's playing Melee, I go out of my way to play with him and to watch him play Melee because I know how much he loves it. And I love that you love it so much.
Oh, thank you.
I really do. I like people that are passionate about stuff.
Hell yeah.
So, he's in the tournament at SGDQ 2019. And our friend Mike is filming everything on his GoPro because he's a meme lord. And he's like, the VOD review, dude. Gamers. The VOD review.
Tesla!
Yep, he rented a Tesla that year, too. And so he's filming CC playing, and so he So CC is playing an ice climber, and he gets chain grabbed to 300 or whatever. And I was like, "What the fuck? That's legal?" And Mike's like, "Yes, gamer, it is." And it's kind of bullshit. And Mike is like hovering over the guy, being like, "Yeah, it's kind of bullshit that you did that there, gamer." And I think that's banned at tournaments or some shit. It's like, and so the guy is like red, and he like can't beat CC unless he like cheeses the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And so the next match,
fuck him up. I fucked him up, by the way.
you did.
Just letting everyone know, I fucked him up. He tried to wobble me.
Yes. So we actually have that on the VOD. And then it was 1,000,000 degrees in that fucking room.
Yes,
All Smash dungeons smell, but I swear it's because they turned the air off.
It's so hot.
It got so hot in there. I couldn't stand it anymore. I went out in the hallway. And I came back in and said, "Is he winning?" And he's like, "No, gamer, he's getting beat by this Captain Falcon." And I'm like, "Who the fuck is this?" And it turned out that person was Visuals.
Yes. The Captain Falcon.
Yeah, the Captain Falcon. Not the Ice Climbers.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that. So later on you told me, "Oh, that was Visuals I played Visuals in the Melee tournament. He's our fan, and we met him in the lobby. We saw him in the lobby during the furry parade." Which really happened.
Yes, there was a real furry parade.
With batons.
Parade is a bit of
They had batons, CC.
Did they have batons? I didn't see the batons.
They had batons.
I just saw the fursuits walking through.
They organized, and they had batons. Those are the two criteria for a parade.
Fair enough.
And so we were there for that. But I was like, fuck. The wobbler, the cheeser, that's Visuals. Fuck that guy. And I didn't really question you about it. And then later you're like, "No, not the fucking wobbler, the other guy." But I was out of the room for that. And we went and we're like, "Oh, do you have video of that, Mike?" And he ran out of film. He ran out of memory on the GoPro. And so Mike's face goes fucking mayo white, and he's like, "Gamers, it's out of juice." I was like, "Ah, jeez, Mike." So that's how we met Viz.
Mm-hmm.
And Viz is Speed Talk's #1 fan and the president of our fan club. He had his own dust up on the internet.
Yeah.
But because it's not like it wasn't a criminal case, we tried to what's the word? Be rehabilitative? Just like, dude, that's fucked up.
Yeah, I think we were just because he was our fan. We were at a place, we had a place where we could speak into his life a little bit, because like he valued our opinion, right? Because we're friends, but we're like, listen, man, you said some things, and you just can't. You know what I mean? You're trying to be professional. You're trying to be a partner, and you just that's a bad business move. But two, that's just not like ethical. If you're going to be in public's eye, you're going to be a prominent figure. Like, that's not something you should be doing. And so I think even over time, he was starting to learn that himself, but this is all coming to a head all at once. And so we were just like, dude, you gotta lay off of it. And
and we did everything in our power to, we banned him from our Discord, and but we didn't. I don't think, and I don't know, I'm not gonna speak for CC. I don't think that exile ever rehabilitates anybody.
Mm-hmm.
As evidenced by the fact that they exiled Napoleon like 6 times, and that fucker took over France every time.
He only got stronger.
It just makes people mad, and it makes people like insular, and it makes them angry.
Yeah.
And they channel that at perceived threats or why things are happening to them. And that's how people get charged up. And I'm not saying that would have happened to him, because I think that he kind of grew as a person, and I think he was hurt by some of the things that he said too, and the language that he used, because it was a lot of older stuff. There was some newer things in there, but it was a lot of older tweets, and I think people can grow. But I said, something my dad always said, who died many years ago, not my stepdad, my dad. He always said, "I'm from Missouri, that's the show me state. Don't tell me you're going to clean your room, clean your fucking room, right? Mm-hmm. Don't tell me you're going to get an A on your test, go get the A, right?
Yeah.
Don't tell me you're going to do something, just do it. And so we said, okay, you want to be better? Like, show me that you want to be better, you know? So, and he made a really great apology, we thought. He, you know, and, you know, he made all those donations. We gave him suggestions on things he could do that would, like, show that he was about change to the world and to himself and to us. And he did all those things. So, I did want to address it because I think he is a person that has grown a lot. And I think that, you know, you're a product of the environment you grow up in. And so maybe he was just in a very, like, I don't want to put that on his family or anything either. It's just like, if you only know one thing about trans people, you might be transphobic, you know? If it's the only take you've ever heard, it just might come out that way. Or if you're only around people that, you know, that hate people that are a different color than you, that's going to come out that way.
Yeah.
So, but I think he did grow as a person. So it's like, I don't believe in infinite second chances, but I firmly believe that exile doesn't cure people. You have to let people change. You have to let people rehabilitate. That's how you get lasting change. And they have to want it.
Yeah.
So, as a community, it was all the mods were involved. All the we had separate ombuds people that just, they're not mods. They just inform us on what to do, like, morally.
Yeah,
They're like moral mods.
Yeah, our third party sort of like not invested, but like non-connected third party,
Non-biased.
non-biased. Yeah, so they're just like, hey, listen, from an outsider looking in, this is what you should do.
Yeah. And we listened to a lot of people, and we got a lot of feedback, and we listened to everyone, and we acted on it. And so he did everything that he said he was going to do. He did all of his training, all of his sensitivity training. He did all those donations. He served his ban. We kicked him out of the Speed Docs-a-thon. He was going to main event, and we replaced him. So, you know, I have no qualms with how happy I am with the Hollow Knight video. All of that to talk about the Hollow Knight video.
What a run up.
Right, so go ahead, tell them about the Hollow Knight video.
Yeah. So a funny story to go back to how we met Viz. There was one time
we need some funny right now.
Yeah, Viz and I were on the same floor of the hotel somehow, and apparently he was.
I just remembered who I was on the same floor as.
Oh yeah, that's a story for another time.
Yeah, sorry.
So Viz and I were on the same floor, and one day I was going back to my room, and I walked past him, and he turns around and he goes, "Hey, are you CC from Speed Docs?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I love your show." I was like, "Oh, thanks, dude." You know, and I saw he was wearing a Speed Docs T-shirt. I'm like, "Yo, thank you. I love it. Thank you." You know, and then just kind of went our separate ways. I never got his name, and then we played in the tournament, and he was like, "Hey, I'm the guy." I was like, "Oh yeah, you are the guy from the hallway." Like, you know, and we talked just like, "I love your videos. You know, you guys are so awesome." You know, and so we talked, but I only knew him from the Melee tournament, and I didn't really remember his name. I know it was Visuals, but I'm like, it's not spelled the same. It's like with a Y in there. So, I actually tried to look him up later on, and I couldn't find him. So, and I was like, oh man, that sucks. Like, I kind of wanted to, you know, see if he was a follower or see if he's on Twitch anywhere or what. I just couldn't find him, and gosh, this is so crazy. Another sort of small world thing. I was on Reddit at work one day, and there was a earthquake in California. It is a small earthquake, but there was a popular clip on Reddit that was going around where a guy was playing Hollow Knight, and as he's playing, he's kind of like, "All right, so we're gonna go through here. I'm gonna lose a little time, but oh, hang on. I think is that an earthquake?" And he's literally playing the game, just like fighting off bosses, and like you can see the background. It's like like the things are falling off the shelf a little bit. And he's just like looking around, kind of through the side eye, like I think something's going on. I think it's an earthquake, and he keeps playing, right? And one of the comments in that video or in that Reddit thread, it was only like 10 comments. One of the comments was from Visuals TV. I said, Visuals TV, that must be him. I look it up. The reason I couldn't find him was because Visuals was not the person, it was Visuals TV. And that's how I found him. and I was at work, and I jumped into his Twitch stream because he was still streaming, and I was like, "Yo, are you visuals? Like, did we play Melee?" And he was like, "Yo, CC, what's going on? You found me." And then I followed him. And I think I shared him with you. And at some point, I was in his chat, and I think he joked like, I think he got a world record at some point. He was like, and I was like, and he was like, "Yo, CC, when's the Hollow Knight world record video?" And I was like, "Dog, hit me up." And he was like, "Yo, really?" I was like, "Hit me up, dog." And he was like, "Yo," and so he hit me up, and we talked about it, and he was so excited. We're like, "Listen, we got a couple of videos coming up. We can't really work on this right now. We still got Banjo, and I think we're still working on Ratchet at the time." This was after, this was after SGQ, so this would have been when we were working on Ratchet and Banjo, and and so and so at that time, I was like, "Listen, man, you got a little bit of time to go because we're not gonna be able to get to it just yet. We got a couple other projects we're working on, but you'll be next up after that." And he was like, "Okay, what can I do to make your life easier?" I was like, you can start to compile like runs and dates and notes on stuff." And he was like, "Done." Like a day later, he has like a 10-page document filled with incredibly detailed notes about every run. I'm like, "Okay, I guess you're dedicated."
Yeah.
I guess you're all about it.
It was like that night. He's like, "Where do I put this document?" I'm like, "What the
Yeah.
fuck?" I'm like, "Someone
What
needs to put a bell on this kid. He snuck up on me."
Yeah.
So no, the video, another sleeper. I think it's weird because it's a very popular game.
Yeah. But the history, again, is a very short history time span wise. Because that game came out in 2016, 2017.
Yeah, but still an hour. Like it's
Yeah.
an hour video, and it's not that padded.
No, it's not padded at all.
Yeah, so
That's just,
I would say
there's so much. There's just so much in that history, but there's not a lot of time. So it's really interesting how that video came out.
yeah. And then after that, so we made the Hollow Knight video, we made the Minish Cap Part 2. And at the end of May, I went to you and I said, "What are we going to do for Speedox's birthday?" Because our birthday is June 22nd. And
Yes,
so
because that's specifically when the Gia video was done. That's the first time we put a video out together.
yes, so it's the day of the first Pokemon Snap speedrun. And it has the honor of being the day we put out the original Snap video on CC's channel. It is also the day that I filled out all the paperwork for the business. So
There you go.
it has a very weird set of coincidences. So we did that. And we had talked about doing a marathon. And like the idea had been thrown around before. We were like, what would it be? Would we just do runs that were in our videos? Like, what would we do? Why would a content creator make a marathon?
Mm-hmm.
And it was very clear, like, okay, organizing a marathon doesn't look that fun, but I really wanted to do it. And so, like I said, fostering creativity, you were just like, if you can find someone to do this with you, you have my blessing to do this.
Yeah. I essentially said, I don't want to do this, but I'm not going to stop you.
Yes.
If you want to put all the time and effort into doing that, that's fine. I don't want to be on the hook for that.
Leave me out of it. I want to show up and be pretty.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I said. I just want to be there.
So, then it kind of got shelved. We planned something else for our birthday. We did like a birthday stream.
Mm-hmm.
And I really was like, I think we announced it on the birthday stream. Like, so I had this idea at the end of May, and we were like, we have some other idea. Maybe it was the week before. I was like, I'm going to do the marathon. And you're like, go for it. And I was doing it, and I said to myself before I asked you, I'm going to take this until someone tells me to stop. I'm going to go until someone tells me, stop what you're doing. This is a bad idea. You shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
So I went to Quo, our good friend, who did Ica Aid. Because also in between these videos, we did a charity marathon for Erica, our friend Shuli. And that was a little different. We didn't plan the marathon so much as Quo did. So Quo had a lot of experience with the restreaming stuff. He was, okay, you're going to have to talk to NASA to see if you can use their channel and their equipment. So I said, okay, yeah, they're in for it. Okay, we're gonna do it. Well, you need some dates. We're gonna do it this weekend in September. Okay. All right, now what do I do? And so Quo was walking me through the process, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna start asking people and just telling them that I need them to do stuff. And one by one, people just kept saying yes, 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 yes. I got, and I think I told you this after the fact, I went over a month without someone telling me no.
Yeah.
In that entire time, nobody told me to stop. No one told me no. The first person to tell me no was Clint Stevens.
Yep. You got to the point where you were literally asking everybody that we knew and people that we didn't know, but just big name streamers, hey, would you like to be on our marathon?
Sure. I just started DMing people and writing emails. I wrote an email to a big streamer. I'm not going to say who they were because they didn't end up being in it. But he got back to me in like 5 minutes and was like, yeah, I'd love to do your marathon and I'd like to do this video with you. And like a big streamer, right? Like an enormous streamer. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like I literally was just doing this as a joke, kind of. Not a joke. I really wanted to do this, but I was like, I'm just going to go until someone tells me to stop. No one told me to stop. That's how Speed Doxathon came to be. Our charity marathon for St. Jude, because at any point that anyone could have told me to stop, nobody did. Everyone was just like, yeah, sure, I'll help. I'll do this. I'll do this. This is what you should do. They'll help you with that. I'll help you with this. And to the point where we were just trying to fill out the schedule. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just making it up as I went along for parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked great. You know, Quo and NASA were fantastic. All of our volunteers did a great job. We met so many people throughout this process.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was terrific. So I'm planning Speed Doxathon. And while I'm planning Speed Doxathon, we're working on Donkey Kong Country 2.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Speed Dox's birthday, and we just announced we're doing the marathon, and my best friend died in a car crash, like that weekend. And so that delayed the video again. It was very
Donkey Kong Country is cursed.
Yeah, what the fuck? I was sick. Yeah, the Speed Dox history is marred with my personal deaths and tragedies. But yeah, no, Donkey Kong Country 2 got delayed for that, and that, by the way, you're trying to weasel out of doing the third one. You're not weaseling out of doing the third one. We're doing the third one.
Listen, I'm just saying. Hope your mom's got a will.
I'm gonna put her on life alert. We're working on DKC. All right, Mom, stay close to me.
Take an insurance policy, dude.
You know, in a year and a half when we actually do that video, my mom dies, you're gonna feel like such an asshole.
I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna say I told you so, and you cannot be mad at me.
I will be so upset by that comment, but I won't be mad at you. All right. So, but DKC2 came out after that, and we dedicated it to my friend Rob. And man, it was so good to get back into the Donkey Kong stuff.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I'm like, do we have to do another Donkey Kong Country video? And it always turns out to be one of our best videos.
Yeah. Three, admittedly, from the people in the community itself, is a little boring.
Yeah.
It's like, a little thin.
Yeah. So,
you know.
Not a lot of love for DKC3 from its own runners, but
and I thought the script for DKC2 was one of your best.
Thank you. I yeah, like I said, sometimes it just kind of falls into your lap where it's like that video was broken up into 4 parts. Not because, we wanted it to be, but because that's just the history felt. It just lined up that way. Telling it chronologically from start to finish, whatever didn't work. Putting it all together as if it was one lump thing or continuous line didn't work. It was like there are 4 eras to this, and that's just how it had to be.
5.
There's a fifth. Yeah, there's a fifth one.
I'm gonna mention only because I feel a little bad. So there is a guy,
Oh yeah.
a young man, who makes videos.
Mhm.
His name is Bad Muchacho B, right?
Is that really his
And
name?
yes,
Sorry. I don't know why, but I was not expecting Bad Muchacho B to be his name. I've seen his videos. The name did not make an impression on me, but that's funny.
yeah. So he made a video about DKC1, and then
Mhm.
we made our video about DKC1.
Yeah.
And so we have a standing rule that we are not going to make videos about games that have already been covered.
Right. We're not trying to rewrite the same thing.
Yeah. And so uh that video, and I don't mean any disrespect, because his video is better than everyone else's that everyone else that said they were going to make a video and didn't make a video.
Mhm.
He actually went out, put pen to paper, wrote a script, got the videos, and did it, right?
Right.
But it's like a 10-minute video.
Yeah. It's a 10-minute
And
video and
it cuts out a lot.
yeah.
And it's a Cliff Notes version, and it's low. Like I said, it's better than everyone that doesn't make a video. So you sitting on your couch just critiquing videos all day, he made a better video than you ever did.
Yeah.
But there was room for improvement.
Yeah. And if I might say, he was a fairly young one.
Yeah.
I think he was
A young man.
mid-teens, right? Maybe
Yeah.
even early teens, right? So, he's not an expert with years of experience. He's just a kid. So he put in a good effort. It's a lot more effort than I would have put in when I was 13 or 14 or whatever.
Yeah.
So
And I'm not trying to carbon date him either. It's, he made a better thing than everyone else that doesn't try. So good for him. We did a really good job with that video. And then about I gotta say it was January of 19. January of this year, like the beginning of this year, maybe the end of last year. He came out with a DKC2 video.
Yep.
And it's 12 minutes, and most of it is him. And I'm not ragging on the video, like I said. He made 2 fucking videos. That's 2 more videos than 90% of the people that rail on our shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, good on him. And he actually put the effort in. Except, there was room for improvement. And he's a young guy, and he has his whole life to get better. If I could make what he made when I was 13, I would be infinitely better than I am right now. So,
yeah.
Good on him. What he does today, plants the seeds for doing it tomorrow. I'm saying all this because if you're listening out there, I don't want to discourage you from making stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Make stuff. Make awful stuff. It just make stuff and learn. Failure is the best teacher in the creative process.
Mm-hmm.
Art is never finished. It's just abandoned. So constantly fix and hone your craft. So we basically knew the minute that he put the video out that we were going to do a second one.
Yeah, we were already working. No, this was in January. I think we had talked about it before, but yeah, when that video came out, I was like, "Oh, this poor kid, this poor guy is out here making these videos."
We did it again,
and we just come in and we slam dunk on him, and I'm like, "Oh no, oh no."
Yeah, and again, it's like if this kid, we took our lumps the first time we went in the DKC Discord and asked people, "Hey, we want to make a video about your game."
Mm-hmm.
And you said earlier, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah,
it's the same thing with him. He goes into the Discord and is like, "Hey, I want to make a video about DKC3." How many people are going to sit down and interview with him?
I don't know if he's going to ask for interviews, but maybe.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? If he did, it's a hard sell. Or who's going to help him? He had the benefit of, and I'll shout this guy out because God, he maintained beautiful records and did a lot of great research. Krypton Berry.
Oh yeah,
made
Krypton Berry's a legend.
Krypton Berry It may be the most underrated name in speedrunning history. Archiving.
Oh, okay. I thought you
It's
said his
not.
name in particular because it's actually Tonberry, like from Final Fantasy, but it's also Krypton, so it's Kryptonberry.
Yeah.
So it's like
What I
double
say?
meaning. Don't worry about
Okay.
it.
He is like he is the OG. He is low key a legend in archiving. He found shit. I'm like, how the fuck did you find this?
Yeah.
Like the man did him some sleuthing.
Yeah. He had detailed records of like every single run that was like impossible for us to find. He had links to every one of them. He had timestamps and things. He had dates, and he just had he even had like paste bins full of like conversations that he had with like scientists that explained
Yeah.
things. Like he just saved a repository of information just in case he ever needed to pull it up again. And he whenever we reached out to him, he was very gracious. And I think maybe he had some reservations, as some of the other runners did whenever we first made the video,
Yeah.
like, oh, some content creators coming in. But we talked to him, and I think we made a good impression to like we actually care. We really, 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 really care about the history and the
Mhm.
community. And he was like, all right, I'll let you guys in. So he opened up the vault for us, and he let us
Yeah.
have some of the gold bars
Oh
back.
yeah. He was terrific. I will also say to how much I appreciate the work that he did. That when we come into communities, sometimes you get Krypton. Sometimes you get they know, but it's not centralized.
Mm-hmm.
There is one community, I won't name who it is, that we worked with at some point. Whether we made a video with them or not, I'll leave up to interpretation. But our notes on their history is what they currently use to document their history. Because it was so fucking scattered. It was unbelievably decentralized.
Yeah, a lot of people had no idea about a lot of stuff. I have a
It's like,
feeling I know what.
what? It's like,
Yeah,
what? That happened?
yeah,
When did that happen? I was
yeah.
here for that? It's like, yes. Yes, you were. You were here. I promise. So, um, I think you were here. I don't know. You're in the chat. That's the best part. Sometimes it was like, wait, what that happened? Yeah, you were in the chat. You're there.
Yeah,
I
people just
was
don't remember
there.
sometimes.
Yeah. I won't. I'm restraining myself so hard. I think you know what I'm saying, Bill.
I have a good idea.
But yeah. So DKC2, amazing video. And that video came out at the time of Speed Doxathon.
Yep, right before.
So, what are your biggest takeaways? What were your expectations going into Speed Doxathon? What are your biggest takeaways? And what was your favorite? What are some of your favorite moments?
Going in, I guess I didn't really have too much of an idea. I think whenever you first pitched me the idea of Speed Doxathon, at least maybe we had talked about it or something, but the idea was like maybe we just have every video we've ever done, but we do it live, right? We have Void doing, DKC2. We have Eason doing DKC1. We have Ricky doing Ratchet and Clank. We have Pear Strike doing,
Mm-hmm.
Kirby's Air Ride. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if we could like recreate all not the video themselves, but like the target of the video, the run. What if we did that with all of our runners, all the people? But we tried to do that with some, which is one of the things we did was we reached out to runners and said like, hey, we'd love to have DKC2 in the marathon. Can you run that in the marathon? Void was very gracious and said yes. Pear Strike and David were, they agreed to do that.
Yeah, the
They were
Fable
happy.
Boys.
Yep. So a lot of the people we worked with were happy to do that. Some people weren't able to. We tried reaching out to for Donkey Kong Country 1, and Eason wasn't able to. And we tried to reach out to a couple people, but they're like, I'm sorry, it's a little short notice and I can't commit to that. So it's like, okay, that's fine. So we couldn't do it for everything. So, but my expectations going in, I guess I was kind of expecting that. But that's not as much time as you would think. For all the videos we've done, that's maybe like 6 to 10 hours of content if we did the runs like that. and we had to fill 4 days. You know, it was definitely interesting. We got to meet a lot of really cool people. Some people that I'm really glad we met and that are sticking around. Like just a friend I'm picking out of the blue, but don't take this as like I like this person more than anyone else. I like everyone who stays equally, but like Bowden in particular, like just something about his demeanor and just I don't know something about him. He seems like a really funny guy, and I'm glad that we got to meet Bowden and just a bunch of other names out there as well. But just stuff like that where it's like we got to meet cool people that we probably would never have met otherwise. He runs
Yeah.
East Shade. We're not going to do a video on East Shade. You know, that's a name I didn't even know existed before this, right? So
Yeah.
I'm glad I got to see it. It was amazing. It was wonderful. So we got to see a lot of really cool stuff and meet a lot of cool people. You were going to say something?
No, I want to hear. Sorry, I want to hear what your favorite moments are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite moments. I'm trying to think in particular. Like my memory is failing me, but some of them in particular were the pear strike block. That was
Yeah, that was
awesome. I
that
love
was something.
I love pear strike because he's such a goober, right? And that the whole block was just a catastrophe in the best way possible. So I loved it. What else? We got to have Squid and I were on for a little bit doing Magikarp percent. The task block was really sick. I love task stuff. And then at least the last day, like almost entirely the last day from when I woke up to when I watched as much as I could last day, and it was phenomenal. That was when I think that idea of getting people back on really kind of came together. We had our friend Gunlap, right, playing Odyssey and Snap, right. We know Eric a lot. Big Law was on. We had Dayman, another one of our dear friends. Funyuns, one of my friends, and our friend. Zella, another one of our friends. Void, Zem, right? Quo. I never met Jake before, but he's a cool guy. I like Jake now.
Oh,
So
Jake was awesome. Shout out to Jake, dude.
Jake's a solid dude. So really, glad we got to meet him. But the whole last day just had like a different vibe to it. It was all the homies, right? The homies putting on a great show. It was a fantastic finale. We got to see the blindfolded run with Funyuns, the monkey ball, which is always exciting. DKC2 by Void, always putting on a fantastic show. Zem as well, dude. I laughed so hard during the Zem one. I had so much fun. Sorry to put you on the spot. I want to watch the VOD again because I loved that run so much. That was my favorite run to be a part of.
Yeah, for sure.
And just the finale with Kingdom Hearts and Splatoon 2 and the closing thoughts was really phenomenal. And so, yeah, I'm really glad we did it. And are we looking to do it again? Maybe.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I met so many people during this whole process because, true to his word, I did a lot of planning for STAT. I did reached out to all the runners. We had to coordinate with them a lot, and honestly, just cold called people. And so many people that we met, we just I didn't expect anybody would just message us and just submit. I truly thought that if we were going to get submissions, I was going to have to message people and ask them to submit. And then I found out nobody does that.
Nobody does it, but they should, because I got to be honest, if we hadn't reached out to people, I don't know if we would have been able to put on as good of a show. No offense to the runners out there, but it's like we probably wouldn't have pulled a lot of the big names in, right? And if we didn't message Zem and Void and be like, hey, you want to be on our marathon? They probably wouldn't have submitted. No offense to them, but they probably didn't even know
they're very busy people.
Busy people, yeah.
They're not looking to submit to any, Tom, Dick, and Harry run of the mill fucking, Mickey Mouse marathon.
Yeah. So it's like, we would not have been able to pull in as many names as we did, but because we went out of our way to do it, we were able to put on an amazing show for our first ever marathon. And I think that's an accomplishment.
Yeah. So that, some of my favorite moments, the moments between the runs, There's some really good host banter. I'm gonna try and make like a hosting clip montage
Oh, that'd be
of
sick.
funny moments, because there's that whole thing where Big Law asks if I have rhythm, which was really funny. That was a good rant. You know, just meeting all those people. I mean, we had the someone drop out at the last minute. We had to fill a 3.5-hour spot. And I literally just was like, Ty Kevin, get me somebody that can fill 3.5 hours. And Etiquette said he would be interested and he would help. And that dude just with like a week or two's notice just did a run for us.
Mhm.
He just did Pokemon, and it was a great incentive. A lot of
Yeah.
donations came in for that, and he just came in so clutch. Josh, Outrageous Josh was terrific. Zem and Void were amazing. That whole last day, Jake was great. I loved that run. Dustpan was on commentary for that.
Yep.
The Zelda block on day one I really loved with
Yep.
Jimbo he's Orchrist now, and Lake with Richard Sage on commentary, and Minish Cap with Quo, and Scurry, who just hit partner the other day, and just all these people that we met along the way. And that they all shared in this dream of mine. It was really a great special experience for me. I'm not. I don't think I'm spoiling anything when I say that it was not on anyone's to-do list to do a charity event.
Yeah.
This was not. I mean, this doesn't help us. I'm not saying that. I mean, there really was no reason for us to do this except for the fact that I wanted to do a charity event.
Yeah.
And we did it, and it was a success. I did not expect to raise as much money as we did. We smashed our goal of $3,000. We raised $4,349.87.
Yeah.
Yeah, we raised $1,400 in the last 12 hours.
Yeah, it was crazy. We pulled in so much. It was absolutely nuts.
And we learned so much. We're gonna run it back.
We'll back.
Do it. We're that incentive, dude. Real quick sidebar. I thought, because my meme run of choice leading up to the marathon was that Damian had started, because Damian runs a lot of like time trials games. He runs Rogue Squadron, he runs XGRA, he runs IL boards and racing games. And so Damian started running Smart Ball, which is a platformer with weird physics, which by all accounts and purposes, he should never have played that game. That is so outside of his scope. And it's an awful game. It's not good.
It's not.
I watched a run of him doing it. He had like a 25-minute time at the time. And I said, what the fuck is this shit? What are you doing? The fuck did I just watch?
Such a weird game.
It's awful. So I said, because we needed incentives for the last day, I said, no, the ultimate incentive for this game, which is amazing, by the way, and I just kept telling everyone that, run it back. And literally we would just do the run again.
Just do it again.
And everyone I told that to was dying, right? Funny as all get out. Amazing, except for Quo. Quo hated it. It was the final day of the marathon, and I was just like, this is perfect. This is a perfect idea. This is what we should do. And Quo objected, but I overruled. And god damn it, I put it at $500. God damn it, if we didn't meet that incentive like 2 hours beforehand, but we fucking did it. It was actually amazing to see.
A peek behind the curtain. I was going to make that donation incentive.
Yeah, you told me. Oh, we're hitting it.
We're hitting it. Luckily, I didn't have to do much, but they closed the gap. But if it was $100, I would have donated $100.
Yeah, it was too good, and it's okay. It's an interesting run.
Mm-hmm.
It's not awful.
No, it's not like a bad run, but it's like in the awful games block, right? Of like this game is so bad it's good, right? Where it's like, it's funny to watch, and it's like, what in the world is going on? Why is there a giant chicken? Why are we spelling out the word Jerry? Right? Like,
Jerry!
It's like, what are we doing here? Right? And but no, that it's a good run, but It was really funny.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, just and all the people that we met along the way, like Simon hasn't been in any of our videos, but I met Simon running Mario Party to kind of bring it back full circle. And Simon did 3 runs on our event, and he's one of the nicest people I've met in speedrunning. He's just genuinely just such a nice guy.
Hmm.
He did 3 runs for us. We partied with that dude at GDQ.
Yeah.
Very wholesome, like.
What if the speed dogs were the friends we made along the way?
Oh, man, all right.
So many people.
Fucking CC's a mangaka already. He's just fucking just get him his little studio apartment and
So let me make jam in peace, dude.
just let you make jam in peace. So yeah, man. So I definitely want to do another one. Oh, the banjo stuff. This is the problem with me, like mentioning also about SDAT. I'm never gonna be able to name everybody that participated and everyone that made such a lasting impression and all the great people we met. All the hosting volunteers did a great job. All the tech volunteers were great. We met friends of friends that they're just so nice.
Yeah.
We met everybody in the near community in that fishing race. And just I think. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to keep going on and saying names because I know I'm going to miss people. So I don't want to do that. But
and everybody else, we love all of you.
yeah, if I didn't name you, I want to name you so bad right now.
No, it's because we don't like you.
Yep, you nailed it. Get out of here, you freaking idiot. Stop listening to this. This is about you, not you, the guy behind you. Yeah, that guy. Get out of here.
Yeah, Lake OOT. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, get bent, Carson. We love you, Carson.
Funny name. My brother's going to name his next son Carson.
There you go. Make his middle name Lake.
There you go.
Tell him that.
I will.
Yeah. No, really, though.
I will.
Okay. So, any last thoughts about SDAD before we kind of start wrapping up?
Speedox-thon was amazing. And I'm glad that you had the idea to do it. I didn't want to be on the hook for the work of it, but by golly, was it an effort worth doing?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because you didn't do it. So, where do you think we're gonna go in the future, man? I mean, without spoiling anything, but
No,
what's on the horizon for Speed Dogs?
I want to keep making videos. I want to keep meeting new people. I want to keep spreading a good message about speedrunning. And not to get too into it, but I feel like some people love to profit off of like drama and stuff. And so there's a lot of like drama channels and stuff. Not to name anyone in particular, but there's just a lot of people who seem to feed off of like the worst parts of speedrunning, cringe compilations and all that. That's not, yeah, there's just a lot of, I don't know. I don't want to say there's a lot of, there's just, I think some people maybe get the wrong impression. And so I just want to keep putting out good content. I want to put out, sorry, not to say that the content isn't good, but I want to keep putting out content that promotes the good parts of speedrunning. Because I think speedrunning is a really interesting, it encapsulates like the whole sports narrative that you get from like a regular sport, like physical sports in like video games and esports. And it's kind of analogous to like watching like a historical ESPN match about, like football or something. You get to relive like some amazing moments in history. And there's just a lot of that in speedrunning and a lot of really cool moments of people coming together and people overcoming obstacles and people just becoming better than, a better version of themselves. So I like speedrunning and I love making content for speedrunning and I like doing what we do now. And I want to keep doing that. I want to keep meeting new people and I want to keep, making impressions on communities that maybe don't get this much spotlight. So that's what I want to keep doing. I love it. I love what we've done so far and I want to keep doing it.
Yeah, man. I like that. I like supporting the things that I like people that are passionate about what they do. I like people that are really dedicated, and I like people that have that really love something, and I like to help them do that thing. My dad, he wasn't a very successful businessman. Most of his businesses ended in dissolution. But one of the things that he told me was that your friends and family don't actually support your business. Your friends and family will come in, they want the discount. They kind of run each out of a house and a home because they don't want to pay full price. They don't want to help you like that. So it can be hard when you're trying to like run a liquor store, right? And everyone comes in and they want $10 off that bottle of brandy behind the counter, right? Because they know what you paid for it. So he kind of told me this under the guise of like, if you really care about something and you want to see more of it in the world, that you should do your best to support those things. Mm-hmm. So if you want to see more small streamers, you should do what you can to support small streamers, which is what I did the first time I saw you and your channel.
Absolutely.
If you want more videos about speedrunning history, you should support those content creators in any way that you can. And if you want to contribute to the library of videos and the history of those, kind of the meta history of those, you can do that too. You should do that. If you like small bands that if your friend is in a band, buy their album, man.
Absolutely.
They would give it to you for free. They would. But buy their album. I tell those people all the time. They tell me they don't have $5 to buy something to support their friend or whatever, but they got $10, they got $5 to go buy a cup of coffee. It's like, do you really not want your friend to keep making music in so much so that you would rather have the cup of coffee?
Yeah.
Like, if you want something in this world, you have to make an effort to keep it. And you have to make an effort to make it so and preserve it. And that's how I approach almost everything that I do. I want there to be more charity marathons, so I'm gonna support every charity marathon that I can, and as much as I'm fiscally able to, and then I'm going to go and make my own charity event. And I did charity events for 10 years. I did the Relay for Life, I did the American Cancer Society, I did the American Heart Association, I did JDRF, I did other things. And it's like, oh, I also like small newspapers. So I still buy newspapers. I know that that's like a sin that I'm buying a newspaper, but I still like to read the newspaper. And if I don't buy it, who will? Right?
Yeah.
So support what you love, and that's how I approach everything that I do. And that's how almost everything that has happened with Speed Dogs has come about. It's just like, we're just doing what we love to do, man.
Yeah.
And the day that we stop doing it, it's not worth it. If you start doing this because you want to get rich, I will tell you the first video you put out is going to get 10,000 fucking views and everyone's going to hate it and you're going to feel like an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. At least in our experience, not to peek too much behind the curtain, but this has not been a roaring financial success. We still have our day jobs.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh my God. I work overtime to pay for this shit.
So this is not, at least not yet. This is not an endeavor where we're like making buku bucks. We're like, it's enough to pay for itself, but that's about it.
I sell crack on the side.
There you go. So
to fund my Speed Dogs habit.
There you go. To fund your small streamer support habit.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's just like, you gotta love what you're doing. No. If you don't love it, you won't be able to do it.
And I have loved these last 2 years, and I'd love to keep doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully we have another 2 years. Maybe we'll have another podcast. We can talk about this defunct podcast
on our third
podcast. It's actually Gold Split 2.0. It's Squidbird Jr. and you.
It's the Gold Run Insider.
It's your brother's son, Carson Lake the third, and you. He's 2 years old. I got a small command of the English language, and you're gonna read. There's a monster at the end of this book to him on the podcast.
Yep.
That's the content of Gold Split 2.0.
Yep.
It'd be really funny.
Be running Paw Patrol. What's up?
It'd be really funny if in 2 years we actually made one episode of a show called Goldsplit 2.0.
There you go.
2 years from today. Well, I'd like to thank CC for being on the show today.
My pleasure.
It was a pleasure. This is going to be a long boy. But, I mean, it's a little bit of a treat, you know? It's kind of like the history of Speed Docs and everything that happened and all the stuff that happened in between and all the things that we've been through in these last few years and the journey and what we're going to keep doing. I wanted to do this with you. If you want to support CC's stream, his side hustle, so that he can afford his Speed Docs habit, his Twitch is twitch.tv/CCNeverender. It's also his Twitter. It's also his YouTube.
Yeah.
You can go watch some of his Command & Conquer VODs, or his Thug VODs, or his Kirby Air Ride VODs, or his Snap VODs and guides. If you want to learn Pokemon Snap, there's a Pokemon Snap Discord where CC the Beard of Knowledge will teach you how to run Pokemon Snap.
Absolutely.
If you show up in his personal Discord, the Neverending Circle, you have one of the most lovely communities around. We're pretty friendly. And, yeah, you can join from his Twitch account. And, yeah, you can subscribe to him on Twitch. You can also support Speed Docs on Patreon. You can follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/SpeedDocsYT. I think the Patreon is patreon.com/SpeedDocs. And it's youtube.com/SpeedDocs to check out all the videos that we just talked about. So, this is kind of a shared history. We're going to go back to our regularly scheduled content next week. When we sit down with, I'm going to leave that as a tease. I'm not going to tell you who our next guest is next week. Ooh. As I realized just now that I never do that. And yeah, so do you have anything last things you want to say?
No.
All right, free Tibet. All right, everyone have a great rest of your day, and I'll look forward to being with you next time.